Hello everybody, welcome to episode 10 of the Tamagotchi bunch here. So, let's get on to the fun of today's episode. So, overall, we have our wonderful Tamas here, which this one's raiding the fridge, because they always do that. But, there's Belchi and what is the name of the other one? And Mouschi, yeah, okay. So, been working on trying to raise their bonds today. I've been learning the whole bonding process with these guys, which really interesting. Probably need to do a better job at it because I have not done that great. But overall, we got them to 30%, which is already pretty good. Takes a bit to like raise them up and stuff like that. I haven't done too well of a job at it. But overall, they both have the nice 30%. This one's doing pretty well. Hoshichi! So, interesting part I've learned about this one is Hoshichi is actually a rare evolution. So, it happens on both the devices, on the V5 and 5.5, but the idea is you marry a specific character, and it'll give it a space family. So, we got lucky enough, and on this device, we actually got married to the mom, Jewelbox for that. I forgot what her original name was, because it's just one of those weirder things. I didn't even know about it until someone pointed it out to me, so I was like, ooh, that's pretty cool. So, thank you whoever on Reddit told me about that, because I share my photos on Reddit. I also share my videos sometimes on Reddit, because the joys of advertising content or whatever, I don't know. You gotta do it, because the algorithm's not gonna help me too much. But overall, I've been enjoying the bits and pieces of it. But overall, we are doing pretty well, actually, on these devices, though. Need to probably work on, when you raise the happiness on this one, and give it a bit of food. So, let's give it a croissant. And we'll work on the happiness thing in a minute. But before we do that, we did actually get a cool item today. So, going into here, going to item, and there we go. It's a planetarium trip, which is really cool. And of course, a cool part of this whole planetarium trip is it actually increases the bonding as well. Not by much. So what I've been looking into so far, the concept of bonding, there's bonding items, which how those work is there's ones that give out 1 bonding point, and then there's others that give out 3 bonding points. So to increase bonding, you have to basically get 100 points in that whole thing, and it'll increase it by the whole 10% or whatever type concept. So that means let's say if you wanted to increase bonding on this guy, you'd have to sit there and use that one item 100 times. So you'd have to sit there and do a planetarium trip 100 times. And then the games do it by 10 points, I think, or something like that. If you play with the parents, it increases bonding that way, which is how I've actually gotten to 30% today, which is super exciting, because today's my first day I've actually kind of sat around and played with them a lot again. So overall, been really enjoying that, and they've been doing really well, so excited for those guys. I'm going to try keep raising bonding and keep on pushing it for that. Because remember, the last run we stopped at 50%, and we're already doing better than our last run by actually being at a higher percentage, so it's pretty exciting. You can also get bonds through connections, which is you'd have to do 20 connections, and if you win all 20 of those connections, then it increases your bond. So it's kind of it works by the whole concept of at least getting to 100 points, so pretty interesting. There's 3-point items. I haven't really tried that yet. I could sit there and put a code in. Not on this one, because there is no codes for this device, from what I've learned. Well, there is one code, but the rest of the codes aren't really available, because no one's really sat down and cracked all the codes on this one. But I could sit on this one and actually enter a code in, which, don't know if I'll do that or not. I don't know. It feels like a weird way of doing it, because it's just kind of one of those weirder items that you can sit down and mess with. And I haven't bought too much stuff on this side of the thing yet either. We're at 940, and mostly because if you try buying any items from these people on this one, the items are always really expensive on this one. which is like the biggest issue so far on this device. Is like, this one's actually pretty cheap today, but ooh, might do the fan. It's all pet characters or whatever. Man, I wish I had more money to actually sit down and do one of these. But let's say if I wanted that fan right there, don't know if it actually increased points or not. Sadly, can't buy any of these animals because why would it give me an item that's cheap enough at this point? This one is super grindy on all the buying stuff, and like this has probably been my issue with this basic V5, is that the grind on this one is a lot worse than this one. This one gives you a lot more money, and it just counteracts a lot of that like issues with the marketplace stuff because you don't have to grind as much. So it's just one of those moments where it's like, ugh. Also, the mini games on this one are a lot easier. And since it does increase the money giveaway as well, it's actually pretty much easier to sit down on this device and just keep on going through with it. So, ooh, the V5.5 is clearly a nice victor in places. Both are pretty nice, but at this point I'm starting to learn things where I'm like, ooh, I want to give it that advantage and everything else. And I hear the cat scratching at my door, so it's fun. But, guess let's go sit down and play some mini games with them, because they need the mini game fun. I might sit down and do some bonding games with them, and then probably do regular games after the fact, because that kind of seems like the point. This one probably is closer to actually getting another bonding level, so I guess let's do a game of cue ball. So this one's pretty interesting. You want to hit at the like little edge of the table there, because if anyone's ever played a game of pool or billiards or whatever, it's way better to aim the ball well, or it makes aiming the ball pretty easy to do it on the little ledge right there, because you want to have it tilted down and everything. Also lets you like aim the ball and do the whole accuracy thing. This one does not have all that like fancy stuff with it, but it's pretty cool. You can tell I've played a bunch of pool and billiards. It is pretty much one of those easier games to get into. Sadly, it's one of those... I've been always told it's like a bar type game. Oops, I did it too soon. Though I've never been to a bar. I've just always played on other people's tables that they've owned. I also remember playing it a lot when, what was it? When the App Store, what was that, when I had an iPhone, there was a whole, like, messaging game one they did. And, of course, you're not playing, like, actually, in a normal sense, you're playing, like, through a phone or whatever, but I've also done it like that. I've also played a lot of video game versions of, pool and stuff like that. There's one on the WonderSwan I really like, actually. Mostly because the WonderSwan has, like, the nice screen aspect ratio to keep on with that, so it's easy to sit down and just play a game like that. So we want to find the one that's shiny. There's the sparkly one. Then you just want to keep up with it, which I just use my thumb at this point. I'm not great at doing this on camera, mostly because the camera does shine back at my, or the light shines back at my face slightly, because how this works. So it's fun trying to focus in on it. Let's see, you'll keep on going though. This is actually one I've been able to complete a few times. You get 700 gotcha points max if you complete it. So it's actually a pretty easy one to get into. It's that first one right there. I wish this animation was skippable though. Like that, sit there and like, oh, which one is it? Which one animation? Is a very tedious animation. It plays it every time too. It's like, man, I just want to skip it. So it's that first one right there. So you want to keep on track of it. It's that last one right over there at the end. Wham! Look at that. Getting super into this one. This is a very easy minigame to get into, so that's that last one right there. I follow it slightly. Womp. Keep pretty much very well track of it. See, this one's probably really easy to choose because you can easily sit there and track it with your finger. So I guess if your eyes are quick enough, you can sit there and do that. See, which one's our shiny one? That's our shiny one right there. Let's get into it. Ooh, I lost track of it for a second there. Hopefully it's that first one. Nope, it was the last one, dang. I messed up tracking it. Like I said, the light kind of shines back on my face on this setup, so not the easiest thing to sit down and do. But you still get a pretty good amount of gotcha points out of that. So, and let's see, did we raise our thing yet? No, we did not. Ugh. It is a pain raising the gotcha points in this one. But for right now, I guess it's whatever. I can at least get to 40 points pretty soon, which will be pretty exciting. That puts us at least in the mid-tier range. So that'd be good for us, to be honest. But let's get into... I don't know how people get to 100 points. That seems like a lot of work to get to 100. But let's get to our fun games here. Golf putt's pretty easy. It's just like the version... If anyone's owned a DMX device, the Digimon X ones, it pretty much is like a very similar mini game to that. But we're going to do shoe pairs. We haven't really gotten into shoe pairs really on this little theory so far. You're pretty much just wanting to match shoes, but you have to actually like match it up with the whole opening. So there you go. Very simple. You don't have to exactly match it up, by the way. So let's say if I did it early right here, you don't have to match it up. You just have to get that in the whole opening itself. So overall, pretty simple, nice and easy. Nice and easy one to get into. It does speed up over time, but to be honest, I don't think it's really easy. Yeah, I messed up that time. But, see, this one gives so little money. That's, like, the issue. Like, I don't think 10 gotcha points should have been the basis when all your items could easily run up into, like, the thousands. Like, that's my biggest issue so far with this one, is that money, the device does kind of run up with the pricing. So, it's fun! Fun, fun, fun! I think this one needs, like, sort of ways to gain more money out of the system or something. I don't know. I feel like it'd probably be easier on the Japanese version of this device, because for those who don't know, the, oops, I messed that up really badly. I'm gonna restart that. For those who don't know, the Japanese versions of these devices, there's like a little like secondary device that can allow you to keep up with like gotcha points and stuff like that, and like transfer them over and stuff like that. Which, oh man, I'm really bad at trying to do this on my camera. But probably need to focus more on it. That's probably the bigger reason. But you can easily sit there and like transfer points over with like Japanese versions of devices. Man, I am really bad at this. That was a funny animation. See, 0 points. But you know, I know it's because we didn't really get far into it, but like, man, this one's way too like money picky, I think, in my personal opinion. Woo, let's try getting into this now. Let's see if I can easily sit down and play some of these mini games. See if we can actually do this properly. See, I don't lose focus on me. Woo! This one's not too bad, though. And if you're not recording on camera like I am, you can probably enjoy this a lot more with your own eyes. I'm like on a secondary layer, blah, blah, blah. It's like Inception, going deeper and deeper and deeper. Going into each layer. It's been way too long since I've watched Inception. I'm like forgetting the plot, sort of. Don't ask me the plot to Inception. It's been years since I've watched it. I just remember some of the weird moments of the movie. Yeah, it's not gonna be good for me. Too underpowered of a shot. Not bad, though. You have to let the animation play it, too, because I don't think I just had less money than I remembered. But yeah, there we go. Gonna probably end it right there for right now, because I had to just kind of sit down and play mini games with these guys for a bunch more times. Because raising bonding is a pain. I don't know how people get to 100% on bonding. I feel like you kind of just have to wake up with them exactly on time and just start playing mini games from the start to the end of a day, pretty much. Or if you're sitting there using items, you can probably sit there and do that. I don't have a 3-point item yet. Don't know if I want to use a code or not to help me out with that. It's just one of those kind of items. So I guess we'll figure out at some point. But for right now, I think we're doing pretty decently. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time with more bonding, hopefully. Ooh, these bonding minigames take forever.